hope most sincerely that the ongoing negotiations in Dayton, in their difficult and final hours, will achieve a peace agreement. We who have been here for the last 3 years, or more than that, know full well that anything less than that will be a reversal of what should happen.
As you seem to indicate as well, that it could break down very quickly.
We are still cautiously optimistic. We, the UN, through our diplomatic channels, never underestimated the final hours of this were going to be difficult. We still do believe, though, that there will be, from what we are hearing, a peace agreement. So that is the way we are working, and that is what we believe, but we are distanced, we would admit, to some extent from what is going on there. If there were not to be a peace agreement, we have a ceasefire, which was signed on the 12th of October, and that will take us through at least to the 12th of December, and we have an obligation, as we are doing at the moment, to still continue to convene the Regional Joint Committee meetings and arbiter between the two warring factions up until that date. Just because, of course, there may be, and we're saying we don't think that is likely, no peace agreement, does not, of course, mean that the ceasefire necessarily breaks down. Therefore, the UN or UNPROFOR, particularly on the military side, would continue with what it's doing at the moment. There is another problem of the mandate. The mandate expires on the 30th of this month, but we have always made the assumption it would be rolled over if there was a peace agreement to allow a transitional phase with a NATO implementation force. So those are 2 points. So that's the near future. Beyond that, clearly, if there was not a peace agreement, there are major decisions to be made, which would be made by the international community and the Security Council in New York. About 55.
And where?
Well, from what we do know has been signed in Dayton, if there was a total agenda of 100%, 90% of it has been signed up. That must indicate a willingness at the political leadership of the three warring factions, if you take them as three, to agree on a considerable amount and therefore not revert back to war. I think that's a reasonable assumption. Nevertheless, we have been planning, because we have constantly found here, if you plan on the good, you get caught out by the bad, that it may break down, in which case we, UNPROFOR, are faced with a situation whereby we have a difficult mandate again, which is peacekeeping on the one side and a degree of peace enforcement with the safe areas on the other, with all the difficulties that has posed over the last year and a half.